friends, we have a big decision ahead of ourselves today. Is this video going to be about Halloween releases or Christmas releases? I'm leaning towards Halloween, but I'm open to thoughts. Anyone? John? Paul? George? BB-8? Ringo? Not you. I already know your thoughts. You got to pick last time. Well, if no one except you disagrees, I guess Halloween it is. Both is good. Both is good. Okay. Hello, welcome back to Beauty Bee. Today's video, we're going to talk about holiday releases, both winter holiday and Halloween holiday. And I don't think there's any Thanksgiving releases, but if we happen to stumble across any on Trendmood's Instagram, we'll talk about those too. Now, I hate when YouTubers start their videos with an apology. However, if I say that this camera angle was actually an artistic choice and I am pursuing a degree in cinematography, I don't think that's an apology. So let's get into it. So I have Trendmood's Instagram page pulled up, and we're just gonna work our way down through anything that looks holiday-ish until either we hit where last week's video ended or I get tired of talking. We'll see. We love a surprise ending. So first thing I see is MAC's holiday collection. The packaging is pretty. I mean, it looks like every MAC holiday collection ever. You have the collection of mini lipsticks, which I don't know who needs 12 mini MAC lipsticks for... Actually, don't think they have the price listed, but I don't think it's anyone. Your opinion may differ. A couple highlight blush palettes, eyeshadow, in kind of like a Jaclyn Hill Volume 2 color scheme. Not my favorite, but it's up to you. I do like the packaging on these lipsticks. They are very pretty. I'm not sure. I'm guessing the white one is more of a topper shade, but they don't actually say. At least not that I can see. It's pretty packaging. It's a pretty standard collection. Will I be picking anything up from it? Absolutely not. Next. Ooh, now we get to go to BH Cosmetics. And they have the Halloween Drop Dead Gorgeous collection. That's actually kind of cute. I like that name. Now, I don't understand why they need to have a brush set with everything. That seems unnecessary to me. But then again, I'm not someone who really cares about brushes. I mean, I like having functional brushes, but I don't care pretty much at all what they look like. So maybe that will appeal a lot more to someone else. And they have two shadow palettes. There is a, let's see, a 14 pan one that goes a little bit cooler and an 8 pan one that keeps to somewhat warmer tones. They're both very pretty. I am not wild about either of them though. I mean, I think BH Cosmetics has generally pretty good quality on their eyeshadows from what I've heard, but I don't know. I just don't find any of this inspiring. And they've got something else. Oh, Glitter Blood. I'm not sure what to think about that at all. Do they have a picture of that? No, I know what eyeshadow looks like. I'm a lot more interested in the blood. Oh, that's lame. It's red glitter. It's just red glitter. It doesn't look like blood at all. And I'm not sure if I'm disappointed or relieved. Interesting. Very interesting. I will give BH Cosmetics that. We actually have to scroll a bit before I find another one. All right, here's Dior's second half, I think, of their collection. I think I probably shouldn't call it halves because if I label it that, then they'll come out with like 5 more parts, and then I'll be committed to calling them like sevenths or 30 seconds or whatever. These are all glow face palettes. Now, I'm not going to put up a picture quite yet, but when you hear glow face palette, do you maybe think that it's going to be like a glowy blush and a glowy highlight, maybe a bronzer, something along those lines? Because I sure do. What I definitely did not see coming was, hey, here's 4 shades of slightly golden toned highlighter in one palette. Here's 4 shades of pinky glowy blush highlighter in another palette, and here's 4 glowy bronzy shades in a separate palette. So if you want to have bronzer, blush, and highlight, you need to get 3 palettes, and I think they're all like $80. But it actually doesn't give me a price, and that makes me afraid. So yeah, I don't like this. I think this is silly. But if you do, all the more power to you. With Too Faced, I think we're actually getting sort of 2 sets of releases. We've got a couple of little mini Halloween palettes and a couple of mini winter holidays palettes. Let's start with the Light My Fire, which is kind of adorable. I like the little match. And the color scheme is, you know what this looks exactly like is the very first ColourPop palette. I think it's Yes Please. I'll put a picture up. Aren't these the same exact color scheme? I mean, it's nice. Maybe there's not the pink in the ColourPop one. I mean, it's cute. It's a nice color story, but it's nothing groundbreaking, and I don't think that you would need to pay Too Faced prices to get this kind of color, these kinds of colors. So, I mean, let's just say everything's a pass for me unless I say otherwise. Will that shorten this video by about 30%? Probably. Alright, so the angle may have changed a little bit. I got a text that I needed to reply to right away. However, I think we're good, and we are still talking about the Too Faced Halloween little 8-pan palettes. I think we've already covered Light My Fire. If we haven't, it's cute, but there's other things available for more cheaply that would give you the same effect. And yeah, Kitty Like to Scratch, again, cute name, cute concept. However, A, you can definitely get this somewhere else, and B, it's really kind of boring. And I am not someone who thinks that all neutral palettes are boring. I really do like neutral. I appreciate a well put together neutral palette, but this is just bland. So that'll be a no from me. And then the Salted Caramel and the Gingerbread Spice. Salted Caramel, I think, is pretty cute. It's a neutral palette, but it leans very, very peachy. And I think that's really interesting. That's what I mean by a well put together, interesting neutral palette. Neutrals aren't inherently boring. And then the Mini Gingerbread Spice. Now, I have no idea if these are shades from the original Gingerbread Spice palette. My suspicion is that they probably are, but I mean, it's fine. I'm just not particularly drawn to this color scheme. And it looks like these are $27 each. So that's pretty pricey. These Too Faced palettes are really small. I think they're yay big-ish. Nope. Not a good deal for the money. Bobbi Brown, not a brand I have ever bought from or ever really wanted to. This looks like everything that Bobbi Brown has ever released, with the exception of the lipstick that has a blue stripe on it, which I assume doesn't show up because That is Bobbi Brown's basically stated purpose, to make very neutral makeup. The packaging, however, is very pretty. I do like when brands choose to take their holiday collections in a very just interesting route rather than just making it holiday themed. They pick a theme, not holiday related, and then they go with it. And this is pretty. It's got sort of a skyscape. Do they tell you? I'm not seeing any information on what this is actually meant to be, but it's really very cool. I'm almost getting like an Emerald City from the Wizard of Oz feel from some of this packaging. Very cool. I don't think that's what it's supposed to be, but I like it all the same. Let's see, Sephora had their little event where VIB and VIB Rouge could get early access to Christmas sets. I don't know who is so interested in these holiday sets that getting early access is a big perk, but if you are, I hope you were able to take advantage of that. I'm not a VIB or a VIB Rouge, and I also don't see anything in this, at least in this little image, that I particularly want or care about. So there's that. I actually think I am not usually a fan of these palette vaults. However, I do think it's kind of cute that Tarte has put out a palette vault of mini versions. Now, I don't know if these are anywhere near the quality of the usual Tarte shadows. I'm kind of wondering if it's maybe a no, because these work out to be just a hair over $16 a piece once you factor in the price of the set. So that's what, a third of the price of the full-size palettes? And while I think this is not a bad holiday release, you have your more cool neutral palette, a warmer neutral palette, and a sort of a rosy neutral palette. You know, like an amped up version of the original 3 Naked palettes. I don't know if the quality's there, and I suspect that anyone who would want 3 separate neutral palettes likely already has a lot of these bases covered. So I don't know who it would be necessarily worthwhile for. Let's see. Let's look at the other Tarte items, which are more like little sets. We've got a similar thing to what they did last year with the sort of 3 stacks of face products. Now, I don't see why anyone would want, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4-ish blushes, 2 to 3 bronzers, and 2 highlights, but you do you. I also don't like the stacks. It doesn't make sense to me to have a stack that has, at least what I'm thinking of, as 2 bronzers and a highlight, a different one that has 3 blushes. Wouldn't you divvy it up a little bit different to put a blush, a bronzer, and a highlight in each one? I don't get this. It seems like the point of this set to me would be that you could give a stack to 3 different people, or that you could take 1 stack with you if you were traveling, or if you liked to get ready from a to-go bag in the office or whatever. I don't understand the divvying up of the products then, but maybe there's a thought process I just don't understand. I am kind of interested in these lip gloss crayons. However, I think they click up, which I don't love that, because that is just an accident waiting to happen for me. Let's see, what else? They've got some mascara sets. a set that seems to have like a concealer in it, which is weird to me. Don't know how you can make a set with a concealer, but maybe you get to pick. No, I'm still not sure. Okay, Lancome's holiday sets deserve to be roasted. You can get a Juicy Tube set, 5 Juicy Tubes, and a see-through backpack for if you're 5. I'm not really sure who has the money to spend on 5 Lancome Juicy Tubes, but yet wants a backpack that's this tall and pink. Though, you know, maybe I'm wrong. 4 nude lipsticks that all look practically identical. How many? Oh, here's a good question. Leave your guesses in the comments below before checking. How many lipsticks are red in the 4-piece Color Design Red Lip Collection? Thoughts? I only think one of them is. And I'm confused. I was going to say I was also intrigued, but not really. I think this is not all that interesting looking. Let's see, Laura Mercier has a caviar stick set, which is groundbreaking and not something that she has ever done before. And she definitely did not have sort of a pinky tone, a brown tone, a more shimmery brown, and a sort of champagne color in any of those sets, because that would be scandalous. Marc Jacobs has their holiday collection. I actually kind of like the super kitschy packaging that Marc Jacobs often seems to do for their holiday releases. I think the color story and the palette is actually quite cute as well. I still don't understand the giant highlighters. I have no idea why someone would want that much highlighter. Bronzer, I mean, I don't really understand that either, but at least most people seem to use bronzer over a much larger area of the face as well as the body than they do highlight, so maybe that makes a little bit more sense. In any case, the palette is really cute. I really like that berry purple with this almost pinky peach and the really light shades. I actually did a look earlier this week that was inspired by it. I didn't film it, but I loved it, so I might recreate it and post that video. If I do, I will try to remember to link it down in the comments sometime in the future. Urban Decay. Now, I feel like I heard a lot of people anti-hauling this Stoned Vibes palette before it came out. However, I think it's actually quite pretty. I don't know if it's any good. I have seen reviews pass by my feed. However, I have not clicked on any of them. But I think it's really pretty. And I like that they have a little mini version. Really, I think for a lot of people, the mini version might be a better buy than the big one, especially if you do like the primer potion and the 24/7 liners. That seems like it could be a really good deal for, what is it, $49? You know, it's a possibility. And the same sets that they always have. Urban Decay is nothing if not consistent in giving us the same kinds of lame little sets every single year. Ooh, Wet n Wild. I actually am really excited about this one. I've looked for this twice already, actually. I looked at my Walgreens and I looked at my Target. And both of these had the display for the Wet n Wild Fantasy Makers Halloween collection. However, they were missing the element that I was most interested in, which are the 10-pan eyeshadow palettes. Now, Wet n Wild comes out with something along these lines pretty much every year, I think. They have some face paints, which I cannot say are good or bad, but I suspect are not great. They put out their some little sets of their glitters, which I have heard are like Vaseline with glitter in them. So that might be up your alley. It's not up mine. They've got some, interesting colored highlights that are probably fine, and these eyeshadow palettes. And I've never paid much attention to the eyeshadow palettes in the past. However, out of the 4 that they have released, there's 3 that I kind of like and 2 that I would actually consider purchasing. I know that I referred to the Too Faced palette in a very similar color story as I think Tired or Played Out or something like that. And that's true, it is. However, I'm a lot more willing to forgive a brand for repeating a widely available overplayed color scheme when they're selling it for less than $5 than when they're selling a smaller version of it for $28. So maybe your opinion differs, but that's my feelings. I'm also really interested in this green and blue one. I think that minty color is gorgeous. I'm interested to see how those 2 golds would work out. I think I said a couple videos ago that I don't have a gold eyeshadow, and now I'm wearing gold eyeshadow, and I already owned it because apparently I don't know what I have. So maybe that's a sign that I shouldn't buy any eyeshadow anytime soon. However, I made a deal with myself that if I got my flu shot, I could buy one of these, and I did. So I guess if I should see one of these in one of the stores I frequent, it is allowed to be mine if I want it. I have spoken, I permit it. Okay, I think I'm gonna call it quits after talking about this NYX collection. We're not gonna go through everything. They've got a bunch of stuff that I don't know that anyone really wants, like glitter lipsticks. I feel like we left that behind in 2017, but maybe it's coming back. They've got a 16 pan palette that's pretty, but I feel is something I've seen before. Some glitter eyeshadows, which I'm sure are fine. Advent calendars. I think I went on a spiel about advent calendars last time, which I will link. The too long didn't watch version. I think they're kind of wasteful, and I don't want 12 or 24 products from pretty much any brand, so why would I buy one? Lip vaults, again, went on a rant about this last time. Who needs like 15 lipsticks at one time, all in the same formula, just different colors? And really, saying that these are all in different colors is a bit of a stretch, because it's hard to make, I think, what is this, like 14 glosses be different colors. It just is. And smaller sets, those are more reasonable. I think the duo to a trio is about as much money of any one type of product that I'm willing to purchase. And oh, I do like the little 6-pan palette. The Diamonds and Ice Please 6-pan palettes are actually all fairly well done, I think. These are, what, $15 each, I'm betting? $10, that's not a bad deal at all. I would consider getting the one with the silver and the blues. I do think that's very beautiful, and I actually do not own a silver eyeshadow. I think, though apparently I don't know what I have, so I would need to actually look and check, but I don't think I have a silver. I really like that cooler one. I feel like that would be a nice little travel palette, because you would have the blush as well as potentially a highlight. I can't quite tell if that lightest shade is matte or not. However, even if it is matte, you can highlight with a matte shade as long as it's just a hair lighter than your skin tone. So maybe that would work really well for some people. And I really don't have strong feelings about the yellow coppery one at all. It's just fine. And really, I think that's a good summary of my feelings on all of these releases. They're all fine. Not super interested. Except for in, thankfully, the two cheapest releases that we talked about this week, the NYX and the Wet n Wild. Right, so I think that's it for me. Let me know if you've purchased any of these. There are so many releases so early, and I am still mentally kind of in March, so I'm definitely not ready to do any Christmas shopping or even think about the holidays yet. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you'll consider liking and subscribing if you did. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye!